The learning component of the model includes crafting classroom activities according to the best principles of promoting learning. The principles of learning are active involvement, patterns and connections, informal learning, direct experience, reflection, compelling situation, frequent feedback, and enjoyable setting. More information on this can be found in the Technology as Facilitator of Quality Education model. The students are studying how kites are built and how they fly. Each student must collect information on kite construction and on the forces that make kites fly. This information will be presented in an informational booklet. As the students do their research, the teacher provides frequent feedback. Her comments help the students focus on useful information by pointing out things they have done well.
Do you know Dina just found the same information? Cool. But that's okay, find out. This is the one that I find interesting. Isn't that interesting? That might be something to write down too.
The teacher's frequent feedback also helps the students better understand their information. She gives cues that help the students recognize important vocabulary words and find their meaning from context.
There you go, right there. Some good vocabulary. 3 forces that act upon a kite to keep it aloft. What does that word mean?
I don't know.
Can you put it in the context of the sentence and figure it out? There are 3 forces that act upon the kite to keep it aloft.
In the air?
Yeah, there you go. So, lift, gravity, and drag. 3 important words, don't you think? Maybe? Okay, why don't you put those down and then make arrows off so that you can make notes about what they are so you can teach your classmates about it. Okay?
Frequent feedback from the teacher helps the students organize the information they have collected so they can communicate it more effectively to their classmates.
Right here.
Oh. There you go. So are you writing some of these things down so that you can share this information? Because right now I need to have you be writing these things down so that...
Or do I write about just wind?
Well, once you find out about the wind, maybe you can make a category here, wind, and what you've learned about the wind and other uses. Since you're coming across some other uses, once you write it down there so that when Dina and Ruth come back to the table, you can share that information with them and help them out.
Okay.
Okay.
The teacher provides corrective feedback when a student has not understood the information he has read. The teacher raises the student's awareness of the gaps in his comprehension and encourages him to refocus on his task.
I think you might need to read a little bit more carefully because it looks like there might be some really good information here. Okay? And it's information that you have and Mark doesn't, so you need to get it down so that you can teach him about it. Okay?
The teacher provides supportive feedback to her students throughout the lesson. Her comments on the students' work bolster their confidence, increase their participation, and encourage a high level of performance. She reinforces her students' analytical skills by encouraging them to think critically about which information is worth recording in their notebooks.
You're still seeking wind?
Yes.
Okay. Have you exhausted everything in these 2?
I'm trying to.
Okay. Are you ready to go on to something else? Another book? Or have you taken all the information out of these books? Or do you think there's still some more?
Trying to look at all of them.
Okay. Can you focus on one at a time and get as much information from one and then go on to the next?
Okay. This is cool.
Okay. This is a good paragraph right here.
Well, I'm getting some information.
Okay. Oh, good.
It says 3 Celsius. And the other one says 2 Celsius.
Huh. You know what? Why don't you write that down? We'll discuss that. That's a really good observation.
Conducting research on an unfamiliar topic is a difficult task for students whose native language is not English. The teacher's supportive feedback helps each student gain confidence both using the internet and books as sources of accurate information and synthesizing that information to create a new and original work. One student, for example, has to describe a kite's angle of attack. The teacher provides the student with cues to help him describe the angle of attack so that his readers will understand what he means. She tailors her comments to this student's specific problem, but still expresses confidence in the student's ability to communicate his ideas clearly.
If you were going to write the section on how to get a kite to go up in the air, how does what we just learned about the angle of attack of the kite, how does that help us? How is that something that could affect what we put in the book about getting a kite to fly?
I think so.
How? I don't know. I want you to think about it because it's up here. I just want you to see if you can find the words to get it to come out. I can tell by your eyes that those wheels are turning.
But it's not a helicopter.
It's not a helicopter. Okay, so we know a kite is not a helicopter, but what is a kite? We know it can be made of paper or other things. How about this? No? It flies. And I know that it can be made out of paper. And they're made out of other things too. Dina?
What about the plane and the helicopter? Like they use to fly, they use like an engine.
Okay, they use engines. And so a kite does not have an engine. It's something that flies without power. Okay?
As a class, the students discuss the information they have collected so they can organize it for their informational booklet on kites. One step in organizing their information is to define a kite. As they work out a definition, the students use both their prior knowledge, their knowledge of airplanes, for example, and their newly acquired knowledge, their knowledge of kite flying and construction. As they link their new knowledge to their existing knowledge, the students establish patterns and connections that help them gain a better understanding of kites and kite flying.